Let's take a look at President Jacob Zuma's presidency, both domestically and internationally, from a policy point of view.
On a cloudy, rainless day in Pretoria on May 9, 2009, Jacob Zuma, a former head boy, political prisoner, freedom fighter, and intelligence specialist, was finally inaugurated as the country's third democratically elected president. After a bruising fight for the ANC presidency, Zuma was a man who understood political chess.
In the presence of everyone assembled here, and in full realization of the high calling I assume as President of the Republic of South Africa.
It was the beginning of a long, winding journey that would last almost 9 years. And Zuma wanted his own stamp of authority, his own legacy. He moved his first pawn forward. The country had been battling a high number of deaths due to AIDS-related illnesses. Zuma's AIDS programs were met with resounding applause, particularly from AIDS activists. His policy would see the major rollout of treatment nationwide. Life expectancy increased from 56 to 63.
I felt it necessary that I should give this leadership and take the test today so that all of us in the country should begin to take the test.
And the new head of state placed a high premium on education. He started by introducing a basic education and higher education ministry.
The Department of Education will be split into separate ministries, one for basic education and the other for higher education and training.
Not only did he announce free tertiary education for the poor, under his watch, 2 new universities were built. The University of Mpumalanga and Sol Plaatje University in Northern Cape meant that all provinces had higher learning institutions. Under his watch, the National Development Plan was adopted, a blueprint to addressing the country's economic challenges. And the country abolished load shedding, with more other players and more units coming online at Medupi and Kusile power stations. He also appointed former public protector Thuli Madonsela and Chief Justice Mogoeng.
The only matters that are excluded from the mandate of the public protector are court decisions and matters outside the public sector.
And as in a chess, some pieces would just have to be shared. He undertook his first cabinet reshuffle in 2010. Several more followed during his 2 terms in office, as more pieces on the board needed to be shelved.
I've decided to make changes to the national executive in order to improve efficiency and effectiveness.
As the country sought to rebrand itself, new banknotes featuring Madiba's face were unveiled. When the president came to power, the globe had just been hit by a massive economic meltdown. In an effort to mitigate the situation, the multi-billion rand infrastructure rollout program was announced. This saw thousands of jobs being created, though the economy shared close to 1 million jobs. Even promises of 1 million job opportunities did not materialize as the economy struggled to recover.
So help me God.
In 2014, President Zuma was sworn in for a second term. The party had been returned to power by 62% of the vote, a decline from 66% in his first term. In his drive to seek new economic opportunities, President Zuma also spearheaded Operation Phakisa. The focus was on the ocean's economy. This has unlocked thousands of potential job opportunities along the country's vast coastline.
Since the inception of Operation Phakisa, ocean's economy, over 4,500 jobs have been created in the various sectors.
South Africa in 2010 successfully hosted the Soccer World Cup. However, upgrades to the road infrastructure which led to the e-tolls have been largely rejected by Gauteng motorists. The Black Industrialist Program is another project which has sought to get black entrepreneurs involved in the economy of the country. Having assumed office in May 2009, his first foreign assignment was a three-nation tour where he attended the AU summit in Sirte, Libya, before proceeding to L'Aquila, Italy for a then G8 summit and then a gathering in Egypt. At the G8, he met US President Barack Obama for the first time. While many predicted that Zuma would spend more time on domestic issues, he was also frequently on the world stage. He was instrumental in getting South Africa to join the major growing economic bloc, BRIC, which comprised of Brazil, Russia, India and China. Upon South Africa joining it, it was renamed BRICS. South Africa championed the formation of the BRICS Bank, which is a regional office in South Africa.
We welcome the decision to prepare a new BRICS-led development bank for inclusive and sustainable development projects. Such a bank has great potential to help us create good jobs in developing countries.
Across the border, he continued efforts to stabilize the troubled situation in Zimbabwe. In the region, Lesotho also became a source of concern following the coup attempt, and a special envoy in the form of Deputy President Cyril Ramaphosa was deployed. His efforts went beyond SADC, with South Africa taking a keen interest in the continent's youngest country, South Sudan. There were ongoing efforts to stabilize the DRC. In the United Nations, he called for change to the Security Council, urging African countries to be admitted to that body.
As a country that voluntarily dismantled its nuclear weapons program, South Africa is of the firm view that there are no safe hands for weapons of mass destruction.
South Africa's attempts at resolving the Libyan question saw it support the resolution that eventually led to the ousting and killing of Libyan President Muammar Gaddafi, a source of great regret for the administration. South Africa also headed various continental bodies during President Zuma's tenure, including the chairmanship of African Union and the regional body SADC. The conflict resolution in various parts of the continent continued, perhaps an affirmation of South Africa's stature in the continent and beyond. Zuma will be remembered for many reasons, good and bad, but no one will doubt his leadership in bringing peace to Burundi and brokering peace in the once politically volatile KZN. Mzwandile Mbeje, SABC News, Johannesburg.